So what's happening now? Am I live? Now, am I live? Hello? I don't even know if I'm live. Oh, currently I'm live now. Am I live? Let me just check. Currently I'm live now. Am I live? Oh, Sorenable's there. Let me just check. And Jake. Oh, I have a few comments. Currently I'm live now. Let's refresh. Sorenable's there. Let me just check. And Jake. Oh, I have a few comments. Oh, sorry. It looks like I'm live. I think I am anyway. Let me just double check. Sorry about that, everyone. I think I'm live. Oh, I think I am. Hello. Hello, everyone. Jake Yorkman, Sorenable, Paul Culliford. Yes, welcome, everyone. I am live. Charles Unleashed. Now we've had that little chat. Let's get on with it. All right, Charles. Charles Unleashed, how are you? Proselytizing Orthodox Pentecostal Trans Rabbit? No, you're... All right. Sorenable, Ali McCall, Tina. Hello, Tina. Tina's there. Hey, Tina, dead or alive. Sheila Joe Williams, Seth Fletcher. Watch him, he's not one of us. Hello. Oh, there you are. I haven't seen you for a while. Paul Armstrong, Simon Tucker, Ian Bennett. Hello, Ian. How are you? Thanks for joining me, guys. That looks like it's working. Yes, it is. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share. Now, sorry about that. I don't know what went wrong. Hello, E.T. How do you do? I've got no idea what went wrong there. Absolutely none at all. It's a weird thing to do with the fact that YouTube doesn't have a house encoder anymore. You have to use OBS or something with it, which is very annoying. Hey, Tina, you saw me the first time. So did it work the first time? I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what happened there. I really don't. And Jake Yorkman says, Ben, I have your first book from the Roswell trilogy. I was wondering if I could read it and do a review on YouTube about it. Well, of course you can, Jake. By all means. Hello, Maricine. I think I should... I'll appreciate that, Jake. Much appreciated. Put it on Amazon, too. Proselytizing Orthodox Pentecostal Trans Rabbit says, the stream's going well so far. All downhill from here on in. Oh, good. Okay, I'm just going to share this. So, Facebook. Oh, right. Okay, now I just remembered that I'm using a different browser, so I've got to cut that, paste it, and do it the good old-fashioned way. Oh, I'll do it on here. Hang on. There we go. It's become just so complicated doing these damn streams. It really has. It never used to probably you just press a button and it went. Now you have the encoder, OBS, and then you have post to Facebook. Come on, and then you also have and Twitter, and then you have like two separate pages. And then it starts streaming on one and doesn't on another. And you've got to press start streaming on the encoder, then not on the other. Oh, Jesus, why'd you have to be like that? Oh, anyway. Anyone else? Welcome, Diego Rivera. How do you do? Charles says to watch him. It's a dog-eat-dog world. That's right. Watch him. Yes, I hear that... Oh, Sorenable, yeah. So my account has been cloned again on Facebook. Yeah, that's happened to me about 4 or 5 times. It's happened again. So thank you very much for letting me know. Diego Rivera says, think the Monolith is modern art, Ben? Well, you're coming straight onto that. That's the crux of the whole live stream. Sheila has Facebooked and tweeted it. Thank you very much. Rabbit says, so I'm guessing it's some art guy's installation piece and he's looking for something. That's something we're going to talk about. Anyway, the numbers are building now. Hello, lights. Hello, the lights were low. How are you? Tina says someone dump their Sanusi fridge freezer. It looks like one of those sort of strange fridges, doesn't it? Hello, Paul Culliford. How do you do? Enter the Stars on YouTube has taken an interest in the monolith, maybe represents a needle going into the clay, meaning a human body or summit. Yeah, that does come up in the comments on the notice, which I will be reading for you shortly. Crafty Nihilist, how are you? How are you? And Mindset Central, hello. How are you? That's Gareth. Yes, on Sunday we're going to do a show, aren't we, about this? Hey guys, so I'll get on with the lead off. I think we've got enough people now. I'll just basically telling you what's happened if you haven't heard already. I think I'm framed all right. Oh, well, where were we? Yeah, something very strange happened just a few days ago. And this took place in Utah, USA. It's one of the 50 states. And no, it didn't come from any ufologists like me or any ancient mysteries enthusiasts. This was the Utah Department of Public Safety. And they were flying their helicopter over the landscape. It's actually southeast of the Utah state, which is mostly desert. It's sort of rocky desert landscape. And they were counting sheep. Well, I hope the pilot didn't do that, or they'd fallen asleep at the controls. But they noticed something unusual below them, and they thought, what's that? And they landed, and they found it was a metallic polygonal solid embedded in the ground. And they estimated 10 to 12 feet high. It's actually 9.5 feet high, and roughly 2 feet along its other sides. And this reminded the UDPS people of the Black Monolith in Arthur C. Clarke and Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. But there was no real resemblance between the two objects. The 2001 Monolith had a rectangular plan, and it was black. This one is triangular. It's actually a triangular prism. It's like the box which the Toblerone chocolate bar comes in, and it's silver in colour, not black. I think the reason they compared it to the monolith in the book and the film is that it's a mysterious object, obviously artificial object, just appeared somewhere. In the case of the film and the book, it appears on the Earth in ancient times when there are just monkeys and no humans. We haven't evolved into humans yet, and then it appears on the moon later on. Now, but apart from that, there's no reason to compare the two. They just thought, could this be something alien? I mean, they were completely baffled by it, and frankly, so am I. Now, the question is, what exactly is it? I mean, when I first heard about this, I thought, what the hell is that doing there? And indeed, nobody knew much about it. It had only ever been seen by the people in the helicopter and whoever or whatever put it there. And the location is very remote. It would have to, more than one person would have to be involved, because the location, it's actually a long way from a road. You've got to walk over, I thought it was 14 miles at first, but there are actually some smaller roads nearby when I checked Google Earth more closely. You've got to walk over a mile and a half to get there. And obviously, if this is a solid object, it's going to be very heavy. And either way, more than one person would have to be involved. This is why the sheep counters were using a helicopter instead of a car. And there's several rumours went round about what it might be. One of the things that has happened, and there's been an update on this since I first wrote about it on Hapanmo Voice, but someone attributed this whole thing to an artist called John McCracken. But McCracken actually died in 2011. So this was a speculative connection because this actually resembles the style of John McCracken. Someone else suggested it was Patricia Lafawnhawk, who's another artist whose work consists of stark sculptures in remote locations. Just days ago, she posted a freestanding arched mirror etched in the sand, but she denies creating this monolith. And it's only called a monolith because of its connection to Clarke. A monolith is actually a large stone structure. For example, like the ones at Stonehenge, they're called monoliths. If they stand on their own, or megaliths. But she said, although I cannot claim this one, I did have the thought to plant secret monuments in the desert, Lafawnhawk said. As you can see, perhaps we could use a little more mystery. That's true. It's actually given somebody an awful lot of... it's given people a lot of wonder. People have gone from miles around to see this thing. And also, if this object was made by John McCracken, or indeed any artist, they've gone to an awful lot of effort at erecting it a location where people can't see it. As you'll see when you find out where it is, because the location has been revealed. But the monolith is not only in the middle of an uninhabited desert, it's placed at the bottom of a ravine. It can only be seen either by someone very close to the ravine or from the air, which was the case. So this artist is obviously very modest. It's almost as if they needed something to be in the open air, but they also needed to hide it. It turns out the helicopter crew were actually very lucky indeed to have been flying just over the right place to notice it. Now, it's not. When this first appeared, no one knew exactly how long it had been there. It does not appear to have deteriorated from exposure to the elements. There's no rust or rainwater corrosion on it that's visible. There's no sandblast erosion. What you normally get with objects in the desert, whether they're artificial or not, is sandblast erosion, which is where the wind blows sand against something. You see it you actually see it on some of the rocks in the surrounding area, I've noticed. So this could be it's not been there long. It could be something to do with the material it's made of. For example, I don't know how many of you read Eric von Daniken, but in India there's a famous pillar which is supposedly made of iron, but it doesn't rust. It's called the Iron Pillar of Delhi. It's over 1800 years old and it's pretty much pristine. So I thought to myself, could this anomaly be made of some kind of unusual material, like a larger version of the strange objects you see implanted in people's bodies in films like Patient 17? If you ever watch that documentary, it's very good. Dr. Irina Scott, I recommend her books about various things. She's written 3 books, and one of the most recent one is the most interesting because it's about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And I've got a copy of it somewhere. Where is it? I don't know, but it's really, really good. I've interviewed her on her Panmo Radio if you want to listen to those interviews. I was very keen to see if she knew about this, because she studied strange materials at the Patel Memorial Institute when she was actually involved in US government contract work. Yes, extraterrestrials. So I thought, well, obviously someone's going to have to go and visit this location, analyse it, check out what it's made of, things like that, because all we had were basically some photographs taken by the US DPS team. The UDPS team. And that didn't tell you anything, really. There were some markings on it. There was some, what looked like, someone said they would look like rivets, and I wasn't sure that they were rivets. They were strange sort of nodules on the surface of the structure. But the UPDS kept it secret. They said they don't want people knowing about it, because what's going to happen is everyone's going to want to go there. It's going to be like Storm Area 51. You're going to get thousands of people heading for this remote location in the desert. Most of them are city boys and girls. I haven't got a clue. They used to have a shop on every corner selling bottles of Volvic. And they're not going to take any water with them. They're not going to take a map and a compass. And they're going to get lost in the desert. They're going to have no water. They're going to be in trouble. So they kept the location secret, as if that was going to work. The people on Reddit and people on various social medias, they're like detectives. They're like Sherlock Holmes. And at that moment, they were deliberately going through all the Google Earth images they could of that area. And it took them less than 12 hours. They found a photograph of an object. They found what looked like, they could see it by its shadow. It was casting a long rectangular shadow, and they see this is it. And it was in the inner area exactly like the ones photographed from the helicopter, so they knew that was that area. It actually can be found at its grid location is 38 degrees 20 minutes 35 seconds north, 109 degrees 39 minutes 58 seconds west. You go to Google Earth, you can find out where it is. And of course, they want to know how long it's been there. The latest Google Earth image is from this year. So they said, let's go back in time and check the others, because Google Earth always update every year or so. And they found that there was actually a couple of older images where it appeared, but then suddenly it stopped appearing. Now, the one where it stopped appearing is in August 2015. So in August 2015 it wasn't there, yet in October 2016 it was. So we know it was placed sometime between August 2015 and October 2016. Whoever or whatever created this thing actually put it there at that time. And there's a guy called Tim Slane on Reddit who did most of this detective work. He recognised the terrain from the helicopter's photographs and was aided by clues like the cliff's height, the canyon's erosion pattern, indicating an exposed area, a flat floor, suggesting it wasn't flooded. The monolith was a little easier to find than most other things because I think this person's quite used to poring over Google images at full zoom. So the answer is, what's it doing there? Now there's since this happened, and I said this would happen, literally within less than 48 hours of the location being revealed, people were heading there, and indeed someone did get there. The first visitor was called, what was his name? David Sturber was the first guy to go there, and he took some photographs. He actually took photographs of himself by the monolith, but literally hundreds of others have been there since. The Diesel Brothers from the Discovery Channel, that's Dave Sparks, that's the Diesel Brothers is the program, found the monolith and made some videos there. And what's interesting about it is you can see straight away that it's not solid. Actually, it's made from sheet metal, probably stainless steel or aluminium. We're not certain, but you can actually even see how it's been attached. They've used special saws to dig grooves to put the panels in, and then they've riveted them together. The features that are on the surface of the object, which were seen on the original DPS photos, are rivets. So this is interesting where it goes. Now it says here, here we go. Utah Desert Monolith Mystery Solved. I mean, this is incredible. Several times there's been several articles claiming to have solved this mystery, and they don't. They just make speculation about who it might be. But the identity of the mysterious monolith, which was spotted in the Utah desert this week, appears to have been confirmed, because it's very similar to a sculpture, they spell it sculpture without the P, on display in a New York City gallery. Where is it now? Bloody blah. This is tweeted by David Swerner. Now, he was John McCracken's manager. He was his manager and publicist, and he ran a gallery where McCracken exhibited a lot of his work. And it says here, the portal to Utah. This is actually a sculpture which can be appeared at 20th Street, the Swerner Art Gallery in New York City on 20th Street. And it does look very similar. It's more polished, but it does look very similar. It's about the same height. It's the same feature, so it does resemble this. Now, there was when this first broke out, of course, and you will remember because I did discuss this on the Kev Baker show. If you watched that, and you also may have read my article on Hapanmo Voice. Am I still broadcasting okay? I think I am, yeah. Just double checking. Yes, I'm still going. Oh, I've got 60 people watching. That's good. When I first started talking about this, the response... itching. I was getting itchy nose or something. The response was, well, is this alien? Is this extraterrestrial? Was this something put there by aliens? And it made sense in a way, because if it was man-made, why would an artist or put something like that where it is? Because the object has to be in the open air. It can't be buried. But they wanted to conceal it. If you had an object you needed to put in the open air, but you needed it concealed, you couldn't choose a better location than the one that was chosen, because it can't be seen except unless you're flying, if you're lucky enough to be flying above it in just the right location. So the bottom of this ravine, it's a steep, narrow ravine. Otherwise, you'd have to stand on the edge of it looking down, and well, it's a very uninhabited area. No one lives there. Very few people go there. It's very unlikely anyone's going to come to the exact spot. And indeed, it was hidden for more than 5 years. So I think that indicates that it had worked. I mean, it could well have gotten. It could have been much older. Many people suggested it may have been there decades, and no one had seen it. So if this was John McCracken or any other artist, he's obviously a very modest artist. He must come from the school of we never let our artwork be seen. So now we make artworks that no one ever sees. Now that is about as postmodern as you can get, isn't it? That's got to be the strangest school of art that ever existed. But you see, like, it was a bit. I didn't get into arguments with people, but I did have like this. There were loads of people coming out on social media saying, "I'm 100% certain it's just a man-made fake. It's just a work of art. I'm 100% certain." And I said, "Well, maybe it's not. No one knows yet." And they say, "Oh, come on, Ben, it's got to be." And this is where you get like these. You get these particular types of people in ufology and in various kinds of paranormal research. I call them Cybermen, skeptics in all but name. And they are annoying people because the people. What's going to happen in now? I haven't actually checked yet, but these people are going to say, "See, Ben, I told you so. I told you so. Do the aliens use rivets then?" However, my reply to those people would be, "Hang on a minute, you didn't know, you just guessed. You had inadequate information, you had a basic information about what this object was, and you made a guess that it was just some kind of man-made artifact, some kind of artificial folly that some eccentric, strange, shy person had created." Now, I said at the time, I mean, this is where you get the polarization, because they were chiding me for not chiming in with these. I'm 100% sure it's man-made, absolutely 100%, no doubt at all. I wouldn't chime in with these people, and they said, "Oh, Ben, don't tell me you believe this is alien." So you get this polarization. It's either one or the other. You're either 100% certain it's just a work of art, or you're some kind of wide-eyed believer who thinks the Earth is flat and Santa Claus exists, which is exactly like this is exactly what the skeptics do. You watch my videos on the skeptics, you'll see that. And so I said, no, I'm actually, if I had to bet on this, I would agree with you. I'd say that's by far the most likely possibility. But I'm leaving the possibility open for something else. I'm just leaving the possibility open, that's all. I'm not saying it's definitely alien. I'm just saying until we know better, until people have gone there and examined it, we don't know. We can't say for certain. That's all I'm saying is we can't say for certain. Why is that an unreasonable position? Why is it when you say that, people accuse you of immediately jumping to conclusions that it's alien? Oh, anyway, a lot of people have gone there, and they've obviously, some of them obviously know what they're doing. They have the proper clothing and footwear, and they got maps and compasses and bottles of water. And there's been a lot of interesting speculation. Now, when the people went to examine it, you've got lots of very good video footage already, which I suspected would happen. I'm just going to refresh the. Let me just refresh the page because I want to look at the latest images. Yep, there's lots of pictures from people. Loads of people have posted pictures up there. Some people have climbed on top of it and sat on top of it, on top of the triangle bit at the top. It has a flat top, definitely. So, and it seems to be made from plates. It's not solid, which would indicate that it is a work of art. It's not 100%. I mean, I'll come on to the comments in a minute, but Steve Mumbling made a predictable joke about that. But it's very likely. I mean, it's if this was a man-made structure, that's what you would see. It's made from metal, which is riveted together, and it's been cut into the different panels have been cut independently into the rock floor of the ravine. And as I said, it's very difficult to see. It's very difficult to find. Now, several people said something interesting on the various threads and things where they were talking about this. Firstly, they said, "Oh, is it a diversion tactic?" Because apparently there was Oh, there was something came down. I think there was a experimental drone that landed in a nearby Indian reservation, and some people are saying, "Oh, this is a diversion from that." Well, not really, because I mean, as I said, if you draw someone's attention towards something to deflect it away, that doesn't really make sense. This is why Mark Pilkington is wrong. And some people have compared this to the Georgia Guidestones, which is, they're equally mysterious. I joked actually when I first heard about this. I said to Kev Baker, "Is this R.C. Christian, the anonymous figure who built the Georgia Guidestone? Has he come back?" And there's no inscriptions on it. Luckily, there's no sign of any inscriptions. There are handprints where people have been leaning on it. Someone actually went up there with a cloth and wiped them out. One of the guys on one of the videos. And no doubt someone will score their name on it, which will be a shame. But some idiot will go and scratch their name on it. You'll get graffiti on it, no doubt, at some point. That kind of vandalism is inevitable. It's not solid. Is there anything inside it? That's the question. I wonder if there's anything inside it. Let me just go. I'm just going to go to the Wikipedia page. It's got its own Wikipedia page now, which is the Monolith here. It just says Utah Monolith. It's very interesting. It's got its own wiki. There we are. It's got a big photo of it here, and it's probably not going to be there very long. And this is a pity, but it's probably not going to be there much longer, because the Utah Department of Public Safety has made a statement, and it's in touch with the Bureau of Land Management, who ironically the initials are BLM, and the BLM has said that it's actually illegal to install structures of art without permission on public lands, no matter what planet you're from. Which means the BLM is probably going to do what all the other BLM does, which is tear it down and destroy it. So it's quite likely this is going to be removed because it's breaking the law. It doesn't have planning permission. So it's probably not going to be that much longer. So if you want to go and see it, guys. Go and check it out. It's anonymous. And no one, despite claims that it's John McCracken, that has not actually been certified. What's more, someone was saying there might be more of them, and there's a question. There's some thoughts are going around saying, "Oh, is this some kind of game? Are there more of them out there?" Because if there are, they're going to be found. Because every Redditor is now going over every Google Earth image that was ever created to try and find the others. So, I think this reveals something very interesting as well. Which there was someone sent me a video by this woman who let me just see if I can find the actual video, because it was interesting actually, because she's a kind of like spiritual guru type, and she's done a video about the monolith, and I thought, well, it's going to be about it may be about we found the alien monolith. Is that it?
Surprise!
Whoops. We found the... No, this is just one of the people I was watching earlier. What's this? Here we go. Let's talk about the... Sorry. Well, these all got bloody ads. Oh, no, that's Kev's. Because there was a very couple of interesting... Well, this lady basically said... I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was one of these here. Okay, I can't find it. Not to worry. But she basically said, I was expecting her to say, well, this thing is really alien or something like that, which of course it isn't. It's very unlikely to be. I mean, we can't rule out completely extraterrestrial involvement, because we can't certify that that is the who actually put it there. However, it's very unlikely to be anything other than made by humans. It's no more like if you found a parked car, that was just sitting there and no one knew who it belonged to. It's obviously going to be man-made. It's a car. And this is very similar. So it's almost certainly made by man, the hand of man. If that's politically incorrect to say that, but you know what I mean. And however, it reveals the very fact that people have immediately connected this to the extraterrestrial presence is interesting. It indicates there's a level of awareness in the public of that area of life, which maybe wasn't there before, which is progress. It means there is some kind of there's some kind of building collective knowledge which people are acting on. It's not really fringe anymore. I mean, in fact, I joked on the Raconta's News the other night, because I've been on several other people's radio shows lately. I said, it's cool to be a conspiracy theorist now. Even the President of the United States is one of us. I think I made that point on my previous live stream. But anyway, there's a bit more here. There's something more. I found some... Here we go. This is some other articles here. This is some recent ones. This is from The Independent. Utah Monolith. First people find the mysterious object after a frenzy of online sleuthing. Where's this one? There was one I wanted to check out, because there's one that's very interesting. Oh, and my browser's freezing. But something similar happened before. Let's see if I can close a few pages down, because it's just Hourglass in now. Oh, here we go. This sort of thing has happened before. Strange objects just appearing out of nowhere, and no one knows who put them there. In fact, I think I've covered them before. I think I've covered this before. Obviously, the Georgia Guidestones is one of these. But this is very interesting. On New Year's Day, in Seattle, USA, that's nearly 20 years ago, a structure appeared there in the park. It appeared in Magnuson Park in Seattle on January the 1st, 2001. And that it was dubbed the 2001 Space Oddity. But it was different from the Monolith. It actually did resemble the Monolith in 2001 A Space Odyssey. It was the same dimension. It was 1 foot by 4 feet by 9 feet. So 1 by 4 by 9 is the dimensions quoted in the book. And no one knows who put it there, but it just was just erected in the park anonymously. There's been several other occasions where acts of public art. You could call this guerrilla artwork, I suppose. It just appears. Not in any gallery. It just suddenly emerges from nowhere. And no one knows where it comes from. But when my browser stops Hourglass, then I will go through some of the comments. Mind you, I did copy them, so... What about... Bear with me, ladies and gents. I'll go for some of your comments while I'm waiting. I'll just de-troll, actually, while I'm waiting. So I'm just going to greet everyone who's new and then just go through these. If there's any trolls turn up, I will simply... Oh, Paul Culliford, hello. Tina Silver says 5G base station. Now, Tina, it's something I'm wondering about. Is there something in it? Is there something inside it? If it is solid, if it's not solid and it's hollow, and it appears to be hollow, is there something in it? Inside it, I wonder. Technically, it would be possible to tear it apart. Now, I think someone's going to do that, unfortunately, and it'd be sad if they do it, actually, because I don't know. I'm quite enjoying this thing just being there, but someone is going to get like a pair of pliers and they're going to pry apart the riveted plates and see what's inside. And you can tell it's hollow. You can almost see through the gap between the plates at one point. And people have been banging on it. They've been rapping on it with their knuckles, and it quite clearly is hollow. So what's inside it? That's the question. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. But it's really let's have a look. So it could be something. It could be it has some kind of Oh. Sorry, people are addressing... Hello, Neil. Neil Peel is there. If it's in the news and they want us to see it, so I'm going to have to... Sorry, Neil, I can't answer that. I'm going to have to just de-troll, otherwise I will never get through all the comments. Sentient Ghost. Hello, Sentient Ghost. And Jeremy Dark Eagle. Hello. Alex Ritchie, greetings. Carl Helsby, hi. Manchester is blue. Hello. Oh, thanks, Manchester. Because I know a lot of people want to talk to me, but when I'm reading the lead off, I can't. Huge Arsehole. Hello. Huge Arsehole. That's Hugh ETW. Right. Vanya Peterson. Hello. Greetings. Tony Phillips, how are you? Lime Specs, greetings. Jock of Ages, thanks for joining me. David Schultz, hello. Okay, I'm going to just go back a bit. And just Silent Tavern, that's a good name. Hello. Jason Govea, greetings. Several people. I'm going to go through the comments on the. I'm now going to go through the comments on the notice. I'll just refresh it one more time in case there's any new ones. So, Limespec says yes. I think this has been solved already. It's just weird art. Well, Limespec says since I put the notice up. When I put that notice up and when I first decided to do this live stream, that wasn't known at the time. It hadn't. So it says here 1 day ago you posted that. It wasn't actually known straight away. That's what it was. That was a guess. It was a speculation. It was a good speculation. It's very likely, but it wasn't known for certain. Charles Unleashed says there are pictures and video going back over a year. People climbing on it, getting drunk. Well. Charles, not this one, I don't think. This one was unknown. Literally until a couple of days ago. And Gary Robinson says, on another note, Ben, I've just had one of my tunes pitched for use on the third season of a show called Roswell. Not sure if that's a show about the UFO crash. Hey, well done, Gary, because Gary's a composer. Oh, yes, so well done, mate. Let me know, it probably is, actually. Anything to do with Roswell, it probably is. David Schultz, greetings, Ben. Speaking of the Utah Monolith, have you ever visited past or recent crop circles in your neck of the woods? David, yes, I have. In fact, I've got some videos of me visiting crop circles. Thor, Logic of the Gods. That's a good name. I might drop in on this myself. It'll be interesting to see how many continue to defend its existence as something unnatural. It took me exactly 13 minutes to find the site on Google Earth. Yeah, well, if you live close enough, Thor, I would go. I mean, I would too if I lived closer. I would go soon because probably the Bureau of Land Management is going to demolish it. They're going to take it down because it was put up without planning permission, and the law says it's got to go, which is a shame. I mean, it's not, what harm is it doing? I mean, it's been there for 5 years. What harm is it doing? I think they're concerned about what concerns them most is people going to visit it and getting lost and things like that. It's probably going to because it's going to be a tourist attraction. That's the thing. Now, Gary Robinson says, hey, Ben, I'm not sure if you've heard, but there's a new show coming on Netflix in December called Alien World. In the show, they recreate supposed alien worlds and their inhabitants based on the theories from academics in regard to how alien life might evolve on other planets. I have to say, the visuals in the trailer look very good. They are reminiscent of the look and feel of Avatar. However, they have that extra layer of real-world feel to them that you see in shows like The Mandalorian, which fuse the CGI elements with fuse the CGI elements with practical effects quite realistically. What I think you might find interesting is that the lady doing the voiceover for the trailer mentions a couple of times that aliens may be making their way to Earth right now. I thought that was a bit strange and can't help thinking that the show might be related to gradual disclosure. All right, Gary, because Alien World, I mean, that's interesting. Let me just check it out. I mean, I don't have Netflix. I think out of out of principle, I wouldn't get Netflix simply because of the cuties thing, where they have this really, really disgusting, sinister child sexualization film, and also they banned The Red Pill. There was a film made by Cassie J called The Red Pill, which was about feminism. It was critical of feminism, and they banned it. They banned it, saying we don't want you to watch it. Now, there was a film on, it was actually on the Discovery Channel years ago. I've got the DVD of it, called Alien Worlds. And I watched that. There was another one called Alien Planet that was also on Discovery. But this is obviously a different thing. So, right, applying the laws of Earth to the rest of the galaxy. Oh, right. That looks interesting, actually. I mean, if it gets sort of like, shall we say, extrajudicially distributed, I might have a look at it. Seth Fletcher a day ago gives the location of the monolith. Yeah, and I mean, it really was pretty naive of the UDPS to think that nobody would actually work out where it was. When you get hundreds and hundreds of geeks on Reddit going like that over Google Earth, and they actually thought they could keep it secret. Benson Fables says, on this subject on the monolith has been chewed up and spat. Please, no more. Man-made art. Next. Well, it hasn't been chewed up and spat up. There's a lot more to be said about it. Bear in mind, we still don't know who or what made it. Now, I say who. It's more likely who than what. I accept that. But we don't know who it was. We have no idea who made it. It could be anybody. And nobody's confessing. There's been speculation it's John McCracken, who died in 2011. So it's obviously not him personally, unless it's part of his one of the people who he was working with decided to do it as a tribute or something. In which case they're not saying anything. And Cosmic Conundrum says underneath that, what if the monolith is just a marketing ploy for 2001: A Space Odyssey, the remake? Oh my goodness. Well, the one in Seattle might have been, but not this. It's the wrong shape, and wrong colour. Or imagine it's an actual coffin. There's a body in it. That would be so freaky. Also, it's kind of funny how people are gathering around it like the monkeys did in the movie. Yeah, it's odd that, but I was thinking that they do look a bit like that. Some of them are actually dancing and doing impressions of monkeys. They are indeed, yeah. Which just goes to show how much awareness there is of the UFO issue. The very fact that so many people were open to the idea that this even might be alien. It goes to show, as this lady said, this New Age lady said, there is an awareness. There's a growing acceptance of the extraterrestrial presence. And if this alien worlds thing that Gary was talking about says, well, maybe they're already on their way to visit us, well, has it occurred to anybody that they might have already found their way here? I mean, I said this in my SETI talk. Do you remember my SETI video where I talked about this? There's another one on Tajinder Gill's channel, which is much better quality, actually, because he made it himself when I spoke at his conference. But, we know we are building spacecraft. We can build spacecraft, even leaving aside the secret space program, we're designing spacecraft that could get to the stars. We have them planned, which could work now, which could get to the stars. And at the same time, we doubt and we laugh at any idea they might have got here first, even though they may be ahead of us in terms of technology. Funny thing, apparently one of the panels, one of the axes of this triangular prism actually lines up with due north-south, which I think is very interesting. Maracine says, in reply to Cosmic Conundrum, this crazy structure popped up right in our own backyard, so of course we had to go and see it for ourselves. Hey, you've been there, Maracine. Nice one. The thing is nuts. It's very well built and in a crazy cool secret spot. And they give the GPS coordinates here. This is in a very remote area, so don't rush to go and find it unless you're fully prepared to get lost. Yeah, I said that. Brick, take water with you. Oh, this is... Whoops. This is actually Maracine's... Oh, this is Heavy D Sparks. All right. I've seen this video. Yeah.
On the corner, felt kind of a weird clunk.
Oh, this is the Yep, this is, I think, one of the early videos. I think this is the Discovery one. I've seen this. But it's very interesting because he covers his entire journey there. And and it's really... but it is, you do need to take if you're going to go there, take a couple of bottles of water, and don't rely on your GPS from your phone. Take a compass and a map, the good old-fashioned way, and things like that. And Cosmic Conundrum says, "I'm not on your continent, thank fuck, haha." All right. Well, Maricine, if you went there, that's bloody good. That's brilliant. David Smith says to Maricine, "I love the fact that when he taps on it, it shudders as if made a little poorly, and you can see the screws and rivets. Why some people are going crazy for this? Why are some people going crazy for this? I saw a double shooting star last night. It was far more exciting." Oh, well, fair enough, David. Each to their own. People are going crazy for this because we were open to the possibility that it might actually not be made of screws and rivets. We were open to the possibility it might be not made by the hand of man. I mean, this show goes to show that people like me are not alone anymore. I mean, I don't apologise for saying that. When the news of this first broke, I do not apologise for saying this might be extraterrestrial. You get all these posers on Facebook going, "Oh, I'm 100% sure it's fake. I'm 100% sure," when they just see one photo of it. How can they be 100% sure? They're just guessing. Yeah, it's a safe guess. As I said, if I was a betting man, that's what I would back if I had money on it. But what's wrong with being just open to the possibility? Oh, and Maricine says, "I'm in Switzerland, but my curiosity goes everywhere. The internet helps me meet and see precious people. I love Ben's talks and many others I discovered all these 12 years of researching. Welcome to my last blog." Oh, Maricine, you didn't go there. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you actually lived nearby and you'd gone there. But I'm glad you like my talks and things, Maricine. But this is your blog here, which is called Pearl de Mi. Oh, it's in French. It's called Per Ledamayan 2. I mispronounced it. I'm sorry. It may be French. And this is the blog, so you can check that out. Oh, I'll put it in chat right now so people can find it, because this person went to the trouble of... Oh, Maricine's there. Sorry, Maricine's there now, but I'll do it anyway, Maricine. There you go. So, I've got loads of comments on the notice, man. Loads of comments. David, UK Splendid Isolation. Hello. Oh, I didn't share this on I didn't share it on Telegram. Where is the... No, not that one. Let me just find the right... I'm going to find the correct thing here, and I'm going to share it on Telegram. Because I didn't do that, did I? There we are. Oh, hang on. Someone's already done it. Oh, someone else has done it. Thank you very much. Oh, someone else has done it. Oh, get out of the way. All right. Someone else has done that. Thank you very much. Now, where are we now? David says, reminds me of the Georgia Guidestones, but obviously different in intent. Yeah, it is. It's the anonymity of it, which makes me think. Obviously, the Georgia Guidestones are a different matter. They're a different object, but they are anonymous, and they obviously have an agenda. And Cosmic Conundrum says, what if the monolith is just and repeats the point that he made about the Space Odyssey remake. Beetlejuice 1 says, apes. And Cosmic Conundrum says, ha, not even human in suits. So GTFO. All right. Beetlejuice says, yes, we went from UG to LOL in 50,000 years, so you'd have to believe us. What's UG? Underground? Stephen Mumbling. Stephen Mumbling posted a video, which he assumed I hadn't seen, which I actually had, where he says, watch from 8 minutes 33. And he posts actually a link to the video. I think it's the video I just looked at. It sounds like aluminium to me, not stainless steel, and it's loosely riveted together, so it's not even slightly exotic. And I say underneath, I've seen that video. Steve Mumbling says, "Let me take a wild guess here." And he quotes me, "Who says the aliens don't use aluminium and rivets?" unquote. And I just replied, I didn't rise to the bait. I just said to him, "Everything I have to say on this matter will be on the live stream tonight." And Steve Mumbling says, "I'll take a look tomorrow. 7 p.m. where you live is 3 a.m. where I live." Oh, you lazy, you lightweight, Steve. I suppose you're in bed, are you? Oh. Nothing is as it seems, says Earth's acupuncture. And that's an interesting comment, because there's some people have suggested that because the stone monuments you see across the world are ley lines, are on ley lines, that maybe it's actually an acupuncture. The ancient civilization, the pre-Illuminati people, were carrying out acupuncture work on the Earth. Maybe this is something similar in the modern age. Lake House underneath here says John McCracken artwork monoliths, and I say underneath, he died long before this object appeared. But Lake House says it was reported on the 322nd day of the year, resonating with the date of the Georgia Guidestones 1980 appearance. Ben, oh right, that's interesting. Because the Georgia Guidestones, of course, came up in 1980. It was just 322nd day of the year. 322. Isn't 322 the... Isn't that the Skull and Bones? Hang on. Georgia Guidestones. Here we go. The Georgia Guidestones. Wikipedia. Good old Pickywedia. Erected in Elbert County, Georgia, in 1980, and again, it took a while to build them, but on the 22nd of March, the monument was unveiled, as about 400 people were there to watch. And yeah. R.C. Christian was this guy. He just approached, in June 1979, a man calling himself R.C. Christian approached the Albertan Granite Finishing Company on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans to commission the structure. Yeah. And obviously got planning permission, it went ahead. How interesting. There are similarities, I must say. Yeah, there are very distinct similarities there, Lake House, yeah. But number 322, I know, is the number of the Skull and Bones Society. But anyway, that's all the comments. So I think that's it on terms of the... Is there anything else here I've got to say? I think that's it. I think that's all the points I want to make. There's just another art. I've already been through that. But someone from the Department of Public Safety said it's possible the structure had been there for 40 or 50 years or more. Which was possible, but of course the Google Earth indicated it's much newer. It's probably about 5 years old rather than 40 or 50. But how interesting. What a fascinating turn of events. Let's go through... I'm just going to de-troll again because I missed a few things. All right. Charles Unleashed says, "Where is Steve?" Steve's in bed because he's a lightweight. Now, Sue, there's a lady called Sue, what's her name, who lives in Australia. She gets up to watch me, but he can't. Watch him says, "In the name of Richard D. Hall's balls, what is this gentleman on cam talking about? Why did he have an ex-hamster live cam account?" You've been spying on me. Oh, God. Don't show those videos, please, whatever you do. I was drunk when I made them, I promise you. Alien Banksy says, "Rabbits." David Schultz, "Greetings, Ben. I was wondering if they do an analysis of the metal content." That's a good question, David, and that's what needs to be. That, I think, is something that's going to have to happen. Hello, Onslow. How are you? Yep, someone is going to have to... Crystal Energy says, "Meow, Ben." Crystal Energy, are you Crystal Cat? I say meow, yeah. Mindset Central says, "What's it say on your mug?" Gareth, it says, "The world's best gardener." You see that there. The Silent Tavern, Slaxer was rather unkind about you in his latest live stream, Ben. Oh, I had a feeling I'd gonna. Well, I'll have a go and have a look at that. Diego Rivera says Maradona was murdered. He died on the same day as George Best and Fidel Castro. Well, Fidel Castro died about actually 3 years before it was announced. I don't know, Maradona. I don't know. I suppose I don't think is there evidence it was murder? I mean, the guy was in a terrible state physically. Since he retired from football, he was just drugging and drinking himself up. It was only a matter of time before the hand of God got him. Tina Silver's got lots of crop circle visits on her channel. That's true. Lee Brown says guerrilla art. See, damn dirty apes. Guerrilla art. You ever heard of guerrilla art? It's like guerrilla gardening, where people like just put things up everywhere. I mean, graffiti is a form of guerrilla art. I suppose you could call it a sort of three-dimensional graffiti, couldn't you? Where are we now? Tina says maybe the monolith is Oumuamua landed. I don't know what that means. David UK says Amazon Prime has far more UFO and paranormal documentaries. Yeah, I got Amazon Prime. It comes automatically with my ISP, and there's some damn good stuff. They've got all of the X-Files on there as well. Charles Unleashed says, ask Stephen Greer's balls. I don't know. Well, Charles has one hand on each one, so I don't know. Nihilist Lives Matter, huh? He says, it's not a monolith, it's a voting machine. The entire population of the US state of Zeta Reticuli voted Biden. Yeah. David Schultz says, greetings to everyone. A question, how many of you are in some form of lockdown? Will you be taking a vaccine in the near future? In Maine, we have a mild form of lockdown and no to the vaccine. Oh, well done, David. Yeah, don't have the vaccine, whatever you do. We've got lockdown here, but the vaccine's being rolled out. But I'll say more about that in the future. Onzo said, what about Planet X, Ben? I don't know. Charles Unleashed, punch the air in support of the monolith. I really do hope that they keep it. Jason Gavea, The Phenomena 2020 is a great documentary. It is indeed, yeah. Tony Phillips, hello. Have you seen the Leak Project video, Ben? It's worth a watch. Is that the thing David Icke did the other day? The Leak Project video. I might have done it. It rings a bell. Leak up. It's yes. It's I sub to them on YouTube. And what have we here? Yeah, this is... Oh, yeah. All right, yes, on the scene. This is a video this guy did on the scene analysis of the monolith at Utah Red Rock. And then he comes back dressed as an alien, like a Mars Attacks alien. It's really funny. I did actually watch these videos, yes. But I saw that video, yeah, by the Leak Project, the guy on the Leaked Project. Crystal Cat, Crystal Energy's Crystal Cat. I thought so, yeah. Maracine says, here's the photo of the funny carved alien faces on the rock. Oh right, yeah, I've seen this one. I think Maracine. There's some weird shapes in the rocks around it. Some people say one of it looks like a turtle's head, and other people said it looks like a snake's head. It's wind eroded. You see, it's like it's been affected by wind erosion, sandblasting. Over thousands and millions of years, it's been just worn away by wind. Yet this object hasn't, which indicates either, like I said, it's very new, or it's made of a substance that we don't know of. Now, we don't know what it's made of. That's an analysis that's got to be done, which may be done, and it could be that the details will come out about how it was constructed. As I said, you're probably going to find it's a normal, it's stainless steel or aluminium, or something like that. It's probably not something that could rust. It may have chrome. It may be steel with a chrome coating, which could be that. But it's obviously not rusted in 5 years. Hanafi Din, hello Hanafi. I was 100% it was fake, sure it was fake, by remote viewing and intuition, like in seconds. All right. It seems like all the skeptics seem to have this remote viewing method, don't they? Right. The lights were low. Though the lights were low, so it's chocolate inside. Choc ice. Oh, what if something is inside it? Yeah. Crystal Energy said, I did it for you, Ben. Oh, what's that, Crystal Energy? And Vanya says she's going to watch The Leak after... Yeah, The Leak project's good, actually. I've been subbing to them for years. I don't watch them that often. I just thought, Leak projects, I've heard that before. Carl Helsby says, Ben, the Monolith is approximately 26 miles from a place called Moab. That's right. I noticed that on the map. Now, Moab is something occultic, I think. I can't remember what Moab actually refers to. But it is... but it's in the Bible, I think. Hang on. Moab, yeah. It's in the ancient... It's the name of an ancient kingdom whose territories are located in the modern state of Jordan. Yeah, it's in the Bible, that's it. It's mountainous, lies along the eastern shore of the Dead Sea. And the existence of the kingdom of Moab is attributed to archaeological findings. The Moabs fought the Moabite victory over the unnamed son of King Omri of Israel in the second book of Kings, chapter 3. Yeah, it's from the Bible, that's it. So if it's biblical, I wonder if there's a reason for that. Can't help wondering. Watching me's not one of us. I was open to the possibility once. It's the last time I put my bum through your fence, I can tell you. That was you? Diego Rivera says, sub to the channel, Mr. MBB333. They show a lot of UFO activity. Something similar to the Phoenix lights happened recently. All right. I'll check that out. Seth Fletcher says, I kind of hope someone vandalises it so we can see what's inside of it. I'd like to see what's inside of it. I mean, when it comes to vandalism, I hope it's done respectfully by people who know what they're doing. But it could be I think someone suggested, was it in the notice, there could be a dead body inside it. They could find like bones. I mean, who knows? It could be someone's weird idea of a funeral. Some eccentric person decided to have some kind of unusual funeral and be interred in this upright in this monolith, and now they found the casket. In which case, the person will be identified and will then probably be sort of will be identified by their DNA, I guess. Watch him says Steve Mumling's rigid Roger Moore ways are quite convincing. Roger Moore's actually very open-minded, you know. He did this really good thing about the Russian UFOs, which, ironically, Steve and I have debated. Yeah. Tina says it might be titanium. The thing might be made of titanium. It could be, because titanium is very strong and it doesn't rust. It may be the ideal substance to put in the desert. It could be that. And Keita, hello Keita. It's been a while. Not seen you pop on YouTube for a while. I must be lucky. Oh yeah. David UK says, what was the monolith in 2001 made of? Oh, well, that was never revealed. It's described as being, when people, in the book, it's described in detail. When people touch it, it's like it's very slippery, as if it's not really solid. Their fingers sort of like slip over it, and they can't get purchase on it. It's described as not. It doesn't return an echo, so when you speak next to it, it's like you're in the open air. It kind of swallows up the sound. This is obviously not that. It could well be titanium. It could be aluminium. My guess is when they analyse it, they're going to find it's just made out of normal metal. It's not. It's not something esoteric. Rabbit thinks it's funny that someone says acupuncture on the earth. I don't think it is funny, Rabbit. These is a really serious possibility that that's exactly what the ancient monuments were that people find. Okay. Let's just slip to the bottom again. RC Christian, some nihilist says RC as in annoying. RC Christian, Romeo Charlie, has been suggested as the reference to the Rosicrucians. Yeah, someone suggested it might be Rosicrucian. Rosy Cross Christians, yeah. Rabbit says, any aliens that make it to Earth won't be going on about sculpt, acupuncture and healing crystals, otherwise they'd never have got here. You don't know that, Rabbit. That's an assumption on your part. You can't anthropomorphise these beings. Lauren Thompson. Hi, Lauren. Welcome. I'm out of the loop. I never heard of the Utah Monolith until now, lol. Well, where have you been, Lauren? It's been in headlines and everything. It's made the news everywhere. That's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting that something like that in our controlled mainstream media would reach that kind of level of interest. I find that very interesting indeed. Where are we now? Lights were low. The rivers gave it away. Surely. Well, they used some of the images from the helicopter, indeed the helicopter's flight plan, to work out where it was, because that was available. What's this? Watch him says drunk and beautifully freckled, Mr. Ben. Oh my god. All my secrets are coming out now. Nihilist lives matter. So I learned aliens use rivets and acupuncture. Every day's a school day. Yeah, but much more fun. It's much more fun, isn't it? Charles Unleashed says, see that RDH? Ben is punching the air and there's nothing you can do about it. I know, and it drives him crazy. It drives him crazy, Charles. It really does. He gets almost as angry with me as the original Charles did. Crystal Energy says, the rocks around the monoliths look like they used to have water, never mind wind. You know, Crystal Energy, they found a puddle nearby. So one of the people who went there with the video, they said, oh, there's some water here. And they found like a little puddle, as if there has been water in that area. And there's no sign of water corrosion or erosion on the object, but you can see it on the surrounding landscape very clearly that there's some kind of erosion. I mean, I know there's a difference between sand erosion and water erosion. I know this came up with Graham Hancock and the Sphinx and Robert Schoch and people like that. But you can see the erosion on there, yeah. BitChute says, hi Ben, sorry I'm late, but you're wrong. What am I wrong about, BitChute? You don't even know what I've said. So what am I wrong about? Hello, Danny Curtin says Phil McCracken. It's actually John McCracken. Nihilist Live said, would it actually rust in the Utah desert? They store old planes in the desert and they don't rust there, as they don't rust. Well, Nihilist, I think if you keep something very dry, it's anything with iron in will rust, but it takes a long time. It's quicker if there's water, which is why ships always rust a lot very quickly. They have to be constantly treated with anti-corrosion paint and things like that. Crystal says, remote viewers are far from skeptical. We can just see the truth if we're lucky. Rabbit says, is Ben ever right? Well, BitChute doesn't, that's 2 words, doesn't even know what I'm talking about yet, because by their own admission they're late. Watch Him says, I remote view Joanne Summerscale's Patty most days. Oh, dearie me. I'm sure Uri Geller does as well. Carl Helsby said, the mother of all bombs. That's right, yeah. That's right, in the Iraq War, they called it Moab, didn't they? The mother of all bombs. And it was this giant, it hit a, that's interesting, because it was named after this biblical kingdom. BitChute says, it's what they use to recharge Trump Biden 2020. To use to recharge. Don't know what that means. Watch Him says, mother of all bullshitters. Now who's that? Not me, surely. Watch Him says, Jordan Peterson is quite convincing. Sock Shovel says, the Mormons named everything in Utah with biblical names. That's right, didn't they? Because it's a Mormon stronghold. Remember the Osmonds came. The Osmonds are from Utah, aren't they? Crystal says, I post that in the group, Ben, a lot. Oh right, Crystal, I don't spend enough time in the group. I'm sorry about that, but I've got so much to look at, and there's so much in the group. I mean, I do drop in occasionally, but there's just so much. Diego Rivera says, Mossad just assassinated Iran's top nuclear scientist. Oh, really? I suppose it was the poisoned umbrella or something, I bet. Let's just see if there's anything, see anything on the news about that. Ooh. Oh, it's all more about tiers and things like that. Tier 2, Tier 1. Ex-Great Ormond Street porter admits child abuse. Oh, God, that's an awful story. Oh, man, that's terrible. That's horrible that a hospital porter would do that. I'll just put Mossad into search. What's happened now, the Mossad? Nothing recent. 27th of November. 23rd of November. There's a documentary about Mossad. Oh no, nothing here. I see nothing here particularly. Watch him. I like Dr. Jordan Peterson as well. I think he's cool. Crystal Cat. I will have a look in the group. I will. Yeah. Lights Willow says, Time Team, where are you? Oh, by the time they get over there, the thing's going to be gone. I mean, it's a problem. It's going to be demolished. I think it's quite likely someone's going to just come and pull it up. It won't be difficult to do it because it's just basically been, they've cut grooves into the... It's obviously been done properly with by proper builders, but they've cut grooves into the ground and they've installed these panels which they've then riveted together. So it's probably going to go. Diego Rivera, what about the wood monolith created by Bigfoot? I don't know anything about that. They do. Some people say they do that sort of thing. Yeah. Watch Him says, isn't Ben cute when he speculates? Rabbit says there could be chocolate buttons inside it. Well, chocolate buttons do turn up everywhere else inside Easter eggs and things, don't they? So you never know. Steve Palmer says, did anyone mention it wasn't on Google Maps prior to 2016? Yes, that was I mentioned that at the beginning, Steve. It's actually appeared sometime between... It wasn't there in the photo taken in August 2015. Some point between then and October 2016, it appeared. Someone put it in there. They installed it. Lauren Thompson says, what's the official narrative on the Monolith, if there is one? Is it said to be ancient or... It's recent, Lauren. It was installed, as I said, about 5 years ago, but there is no official narrative because no one knows anything about it. Cool and weird at the same time, says Chris Lange. Yep, that's it. Lime Specs mumbling put it there. He would, if he could, he would. He'd do that just to mess with my head. I don't think he would. Jason Gouveia says it could be a time capsule. I'm wondering what's inside it. Yeah, I'm wondering if it is actually a container. If it is, then I'll certainly have something to say, I think, about that. Crystal says, remaining mystery is why it is there, or is it just a distraction? Well, this is something that was suggested, that someone who actually visited it said that at the same time, apparently, an experimental drone came down in a nearby Indian reservation. I can't find a reference for that, but if the thing is about it is, if it was meant to distract people away from that, it's a bit like it's what I said in my video about Mark Pilkington and his theories. You draw someone's attention towards something with the intention of deflecting it away, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It could backfire in all kinds of ways. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't have even heard about that the experimental drone coming down, the experimental drone crashing or being lost, if it hadn't been for the Monolith. So people are looking at the Monolith and they suddenly hear about the drone story, whereas if they weren't looking at the Monolith, they wouldn't even heard about the drone. This is why this stuff about people say Bob Lazar was put out there to distract people away from Area 51. And I thought, hold on a sec. If Bob Lazar was meant to distract people's attention away from Area 51, he's done the exact opposite. It's done worse than fail. And then the answer goes, oh yes, but you see, Bob Lazar talks about aliens and things like that, which distracts people away from the truth, which is it's secret. It's a secret new airplane. You see, it's a new spy plane. It's an airplane that they don't want anyone to know about. But everyone's looking at Area 51 now because of Bob Lazar. If they wanted to see, sooner or later, someone who's doing that is going to know what an aeroplane looks like, and they're going to find it. They're going to find it because they followed the trail left by the people staring at Bob Lazar and following what Bob Lazar did. Wouldn't it be better, rather than just put Bob Lazar out there, if you were keeping a secret, wouldn't you rather just not tell anybody? It's like imagine I robbed a bank and I wanted to hide the stash. I'd bury it in the woods. You know, I'd bury the booty in the woods to pick up later when the heat dried down. Now I could do that. I could just go and bury it in the woods and just leave it there. Or I could bury it under a tree by the roadside, and I could jump up and down, waving at every police car that came along with a big placard saying, "There's no buried goods here. There's no money here from the bank robbery the other day. It's just some unicorn bones." All right, and the police are going to look at that and say, "Oh right, okay, we won't go and look there then." This whole idea of distraction and it's not really aliens, it's something else. And we put the story of aliens out there to distract people. It doesn't make sense for that reason. So Jason Govey said it could be a time capsule. Yeah, it could be. I want to know what's inside it. That's the big mystery now. Somebody's put something in there, and I'd love to know what it is. And sooner or later, we're going to find out, because someone is going to break it open. At some point, someone's going to break it open, and indeed, eventually, the Bureau of Land Management is going to remove it, and they're going to have to dismantle it to remove it, because it's basically just panels that have been put into the ground. I mean, you can actually see where they've used some kind of they say it's like a concrete source, like the kind of things that the people working on the road use to cut through concrete and tarmac. They've used that to cut through the rock floor of the ravine and install these panels. And they've done it very precisely. They obviously know what they're doing. It's proper builders did this. And they installed these panels and fitted it together 5 years ago, and they just left it, and no one's ever seen it since. Rabbit says, if aliens believed in healing crystals and acupuncture, it would suggest that they were not scientifically minded, but high, and therefore not fit to man a UFO and get to Earth in the first place. No, Rabbit, you're anthropomorphizing there. You're assuming kind of like you're putting yourself in the alien's place, and not only are you putting yourself in the alien's place, you're believing that the reality, everyone's a skeptic like you. Anyone sufficiently advanced in technology would have to be a fellow skeptic. Hello, Brian Clare, how are you? Watch Him says Ben's only friends account is 100% man-made. Oh, yes, I don't call it OnlyFans. Yeah. David UK says, you can get acupuncture on the NHS, so go preach to them that they're wrong. You can, David, yeah, but the only reason you can get it on the NHS is because it has passed scientific trials. I know people who have acupuncture and they swear by it. Alright, where am I now? Oh, I keep it slipped down. I lost my place. Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't follow all these comments. It's just too many. Lime Specs. The Mossad thing with the Iranian scientist who's just been killed. I can't see anything in the news about that. Search Iran. It's top news. Hello, Jamelia. How are you? I will have a look, Jamelia. Just one moment. Okay, Iran news. Yeah, here we go. Oh, it is in the BBC. Why couldn't I find it on the search function? Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, Iran's top nuclear scientist, assassinated near Tehran. Oh yeah, Iran's most senior nuclear scientist has been assassinated near the capital Tehran. He died in hospital after the attack in Absard in Damavan County. Western intelligence agencies believe Fakhrizadeh was behind a covert Iranian nuclear weapons program. Oh, we've heard that before, though, haven't we? Do we believe that? Is this... Funny how this happened just after this... It was announced Joe Biden is going to be the president. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to get away with it. Hope he won't. But I wonder if this is a setup for when Joe Biden gets inaugurated. What's the first thing he's going to do? Iran's got nuclear weapons. They've got weapons of mass destruction. We need to go over there and invade it. I found it, Jamelia. Thanks. It wouldn't be surprised if Mossad did that. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Rabbit said there could be a smooth caramel centre inside it. Yeah, Rabbit, you could design sweets, monolith sweets, like little triangular prisms which you put in your mouth. And yeah. I hope there's a hazelnut at the centre, says Narlis Mives. I do. I prefer the ones like that, like those sweets you get with Milk Tray and Quality Street and stuff. You know, they're the nicest ones. David says they found a woodhenge in Florida. All right, Joe Dunn will know all about that. Watch him says, speaking of smooth caramel centres, has anyone seen Ben's disclosure bikini calendar? I'm only publishing that if we get disclosure. I will publish it, along with drinking my disclosure champagne, I promise you. Rabbit says, if they don't know anything about it, how do they know it's been there for 5 years? Well, Rabbit, were you paying attention during the lead-off? I explained. Studying old Google Maps images. We don't know exactly. We know it's been there sometime. In August of 2015, it wasn't there. Then they took another photo in October 2016, and it was there. Watch him says, Lazar really knows how to double entry book keep a whorehouse. Look, yeah, that's actually in Nevada. That's not a very serious crime, but he was involved in that sort of thing, yeah. But it's actually, he's faced a minor charge as a result, and he got a suspended sentence. Crystal says, Bob Lazar had good info in the beginning, but then it became controlled. Maybe, yeah, he, like disinfo, he went back to work for them. It could be that he had to do that to stay alive, I don't know. Watch him says, I prefer Lazar's knock-in shop reports. I do wonder, when someone gets into that position, they make themselves vulnerable to plea bargains and things like that. It could be one of the reasons he didn't go to jail is because he had some kind of, they had some kind of leverage on him in that way. The Lights Willow said Portuguese missing child. Right. I think you mean Madeleine McCann. She's actually English, not Portuguese, but she disappeared in Portugal. Well, I think she's died and the body's been hidden. Maybe if the body's in there, I don't know. I don't know. Nihilist says Bob Lazar was put there to distract from Area 52. I don't think so, Nihilist, because he didn't do a very good job, did he? Like I've explained. Rabbit says Bob is a fantasist and a crank. No, he's not. No, he's not. Sentient Ghost. People who tell the truth don't live very long. Alright, let's go up. Lauren Thompson. Maybe there are pogs inside it. That's what my middle school class put in our time capsule. Pogs. Anyone remember pogs? Yeah, I'm sort of guessing your age actually from that, because yeah, it was a craze for like about 3 years. Crystal Energy said, I thought it was a cover from a radio mast or something like it, but Rex held a meter against it and got no readings. That's right, Crystal. In the video, he has the sense to take an EMF detector there, and there's literally nothing. He gets everyone to switch off their mobile phones, and it's literally a radio vacuum. So whatever's inside it, if there is anything, is not giving any readings. So I'm really keen to see if anything happens. If someone's going to open it at some point. Charles Unleashed says, just imagine if it was a time capsule predicting the 2020 election. I don't think you need a time capsule for that, Charles. You just need to go to the secret meetings in the boardrooms at Davos. Carl Helsby says, the latest Utah Desert Monolith mystery solved as dead artist agents claims it's definitely him. Yeah, that was the tweet I mentioned. That was what's his name, Swerner. It's apparently similar to this thing called the Portal to Utah, which is in his gallery in New York City, and it's actually, if anything, it's an exact replica, but that doesn't prove anything. It's just a resemblance. Yeah. Diego Ferrer, the monolith is not a good idea by the aliens. Humans will just urinate on it. Someone will trash it at some point. There'll be graffiti on it by now, almost certainly. Just imagine, Bob was there. I saw the monolith, mate. People can't resist it. Of all the thousands of people who are heading there right now, you're going to get some idiots. I mean, it's like the lemon squeezer, the the Rendlesham Forest artifact, which is incorrect actually. It's covered in graffiti. People are scrawled on it. It's just habit. We do it everywhere. I mean, there's entire books have been written about the graffiti on the Great Pyramid because it's very old, some of it. Where are we now? Watch Him says, what an unclaimed prick in the desert. It is a kind of phallic symbol, isn't it? And I do wonder if that's significant. Tony Phillips says, have you seen Raised by Wolves yet? Ridley Scott's new series. I haven't. No, it sounds interesting. Hello, John Kay. Where are we now? Crystal says, hang on. Rabbit says, do we believe the Iranians are trying to get the bomb? Yes, obviously. Well, if they were, I mean, the thing is about it is, I mean, that's not against the law. I mean, I think there's dozens of countries that have the bomb now. It's not against the law if they get it. I mean, Israel has it. It makes sense, actually, that once Israel got the bomb, that their various enemies would try and build some kind of deterrent. I mean, like the world did in the Cold War. It's once one country gets the bomb, others, all the ones around it are desperate to get it as well, to act as a nuclear deterrent. So there'll be kind of mini Cold War, mutually assured destruction scenario between Iran and Israel. The problem is, like, if Trump is given another 4 years, he might actually be able to persuade the Israelis and Iranians not to fight each other, or not to. They may actually restore diplomatic relations, like he did with the UAE and Israel. So. That would be the solution, but you will never persuade Iran not to have the bomb, not if Israel has it, or indeed, to be fair, I don't know which country in that era actually got the bomb first, because it's an unstable equilibrium. As soon as one nation decides to get the bomb, I don't know if Israel was the first one, but as soon as one nation decides to develop nuclear weapons, all their opponents in the region are going to do the same. It's inevitable. They have to. Otherwise, they make themselves incredibly vulnerable. So that's an unfortunate fact of the nuclear arms race. So Iran are not technically doing anything wrong by getting the bomb. They're just doing what any other country would do. Tina says Toblerone already exists. The fruit and nut one is fab. I've not tried that one, Tina. I like the white one. The white chocolate one is delicious. I like Toblerone. It's lovely. It's got honey and nougat in and things like that. Rabbit says, has Ben forgotten all the times we were supposed to have gone to war with Iran when Trump was in power? Trump managed to keep everyone out of that, despite the assassination of what's his name, the guy I talked about in the new year. Trump did his best to keep America out of those kinds of interventions. Now, hopefully he'll continue to do the same. But they want some kind of a new conflagration in the Middle East, and indeed, Joe Biden is the chosen one to do it, just like Hillary Clinton was. Right. Oh, flip to the bottom. Monolith lives matter. The US won't invade Iran. It's practically impossible geographically, mountains and shit. I saw it on Binkov's Battlegrounds. I think, Nihilist, if you are someone who wants to destroy the United States and you are occupying the government and you're in control of the government, you would want the US to get into an impossible, impractical, unwinnable war. So the very fact that Iran cannot be invaded and overcome is the very reason you'd want America to try. As I said, I've said this before. Without some kind of new 9/11, it probably wouldn't work. There's going to have to be some kind of new 9/11 that will be blamed on Iran. If Joe Biden is going to get away with this crooked steal, as Trump calls it, that's what will happen. But hopefully he's not going to get away with it. I'll cover that. I'll do another video actually next month, I think, when we know more about what's going to happen in that respect. But I'm pretty confident actually. Lauren says it's actually illegal in most of Nevada, in most of the populated areas and the counties. It's illegal. That whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas thing is a lie. Is that so, Lauren? So you mean I thought Nevada was supposed to be the great libertarian capital of the world, where you could buy guns in toy shops and there were brothels and things like that. Is that not true? Oh right. Ah. Charles Unleashed says it contains a psychic message that says Mary loves Dick. All right. Maybe Derek Accora is buried inside it. I don't know. When did Derek Accora die? Because he died, I think. I think it's not Derek Accora. Hang on, let's have a look. Oh, because if he's buried in there, Derek. Oh no, he died actually he died this year, 3rd of January. I thought it was more recent than that. But you know, I think this is going to be the next piece of speculation, because I think we're pretty sure it's not aliens who did it now. I think it's pretty obvious that this is man-made. However, who made it and why, and is there something inside it? That's the next question, isn't it? So at some point we're going to find out. At some point we're going to find out what's inside it, and I wonder what it'll be. Rabbit says, now, what could be inside it that isn't giving out any readings? Well, lots of things don't give out readings. A dead body wouldn't give out readings. Gold bar, it could be gold and treasure or something. That wouldn't give out readings. David says, why do you think Lazar had it as Zeta Reticuli? We all know where that prominence originated in UFO history, and Marjorie Fish later said her map was wrong after all. It was actually Betty and Barney Hill. What happened was they were given. Well, what it was that Betty actually recalled the star map, which she then reproduced. It was later shown that it wasn't accurate. However, she had to reproduce it from memory. I mean, it's possible there was some differences in it. I don't know. But I think that's where the Zeta Reticuli thing comes from. Crystal Energy says Pogs in the 90s. Yeah, I remember those. I'm not that old. I remember Pogs. Steve Palmer, it's a Starlink space station. Well, Steve, there are Starlink base stations all over the place, but they've installed a whole load of them in Africa. But and I think you said actually on my St. Helena video, it would be a good idea to put one there, and maybe you're right. However, why would you put one in a desert, and why would it have no... it's obviously not an electronic device. So I wonder what it is. Tessa1111, hello. Mushrooms, looks like pyramid stylus as well. How are you, Tessa? Right. Slip to the bottom. Where are we now? Jamelia says Pakistan, I think, had it first in the Middle East. Well, Pakistan is actually, I don't think you call that Middle East, but it's... Yeah, I mean, India and Pakistan have their own standoff in terms of nuclear weapons. It's getting quite hairy, actually. They've got, like, nuclear submarines. At least India has a nuclear submarine, like a SSBN type of deterrent. So it's at sea, you never know where it is. Like Trident. I mean, if war breaks out there, it'd be terrible. I mean, both countries have huge populations. It'd be devastating. Tessa said Germany had the bomb first. Joseph Farrell. Yeah, well, I think I read one of his books, and it was interesting. I've seen lots of videos of Joseph Farrell. I know they were developing it. Of course, they had the heavy water factory. Do you remember the Heroes of Telemark movie? Yeah. Rabbit says Iran is signed up to the non-nuclear proliferation treaty. It's basically a promise not to develop the bomb. Well, obviously, Rabbit, in that case, they're breaching the treaty. However, I do understand their position. Indeed, I understand Israel's position too. If Israel didn't develop it first, then I do understand that they would want also to create a deterrent. So I do understand from their point of view. I understand exactly why that is. I do. Diego Rivera says Israel is above the law. They make their own rules. They do seem to be treated with enormous deference, don't they? Israel is sometimes I think that the whole world seems to revolve around Israel, and it shouldn't. It's a country. I mean, it's a country that seems to be different from all the others. It seems to be like everyone sort of like tiptoes around it. You know, you can't say anything bad about Israel, or you're against Jews and things like that, which is not true. But this is often what's talked about. Nihilist says if Iran gets the bomb, Saudi will be next. Yeah. The problem is you can't uninvent the nuclear bomb. It's there. Somebody's going to try. If someone tries to get it, everyone else is going to want it. This is why I understand why North Korea has developed it too. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a horrible thing. It's very dangerous, but I understand why they've done it. Tessa says Biden has Hillary whispering in his ear, "Go to war." Yeah. They were planning to do that if they always planned that Hillary would be the president, and probably we'd already be entangled with Iran already. And those forces are still there. The globalist forces are still there. I mean, Trump hasn't got rid of them. He hasn't drained the swamp. What he's done is he's bought us some time, and I hope he can buy us some more. Rabbit says Trump is no longer the president. Yes, he is, Rabbit. Whatever happens, he's president until the 20th of January. And I believe, the way things are going, he will do another 4 years. But we'll soon find out. But I'm quite confident of that. Watch Him says Joseph Farrell is the ghostwriter to the Stars Academy. Yep, another believable beauty. Is he? Well, Joseph Farrell's got nothing to do with TTSA. I never heard of any connection then. Watch Him says, excuse me, I've got to go and squeeze out a McKenna. Oh, right. I don't want to know about your toilet habits. But while we're on the subject, I might go and do something similar. Can you guys play amongst yourselves for a little bit? How do I mute the mic? Oh, I can't. I can't mute the microphone. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you, new streaming service on YouTube. You've completely messed it up. Never before has something so unbroken been fixed in such a dedicated manner. Alright, guys, if you hear any weird noises, that's my housemates cooking. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, I'm back. I'm back, guys. Oh. Hello. Right, where was I? Tessa says it's mostly Mormon in Vegas. Oh, right, I didn't know that. For some reason, that was withheld. Rabbit says there are many countries that don't want other countries getting nukes, as has been said. If Iran gets nuked, so does Saudi and so does Turkey. Russia and China will not want that. Yeah. John Nolan says it's the Germans, Ben. John Nolan, aka Michael Shrimpton. Lauren Thomas, outside of the populated countries, brothels are legal. Populated counties, brothels are legal. All right. I see. Okay. I understand. I didn't know that about. I didn't know that about Nevada. Tessa also says Utah's Monolith. It's a Vija beacon. Oh, Vija. Oh, that's good grief. You're a geek, aren't you, Tessa? That's good. That's the original Star Trek movie. You remember the Star Trek the Motion Picture, the first one, which it seems everyone except me really hates. I think it's good. I think it's a great movie, but everyone except me hates it. Crystal Energy says I was just talking about Derek Accora the other day he's gone? Oh, I'm so sad now. Spent many a Halloween watching Most Haunted. It was ace. Sorry to break it to you. Oops, flip down. I'm sorry to break it to you, Tessa. Yeah. So not Tessa. Crystal, yeah. Tessa, weren't the hills hypnotised? Yeah, I believe they were. Steve Sanders. Come and think of it, I should read that book. Stanton Friedman co-wrote it with Kathleen Marden, Betty Hill's niece. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's the second. There was another book called The Interrupted Journey about the hills. Steve Sanderson. Hello, Steve. Derek Accora was probably the first celeb to die of COVID-19 back in January. Did he? Well, the thing is, everyone's dying of COVID-19 now, aren't they? Where are we now? The lights were low. Most Haunted set him up before sacking him. I don't think it was Most Haunted. You're talking about the Creed Kafer thing. I think that was some skeptics. David says, Ben, that raises a red flag. Lazar could have injected Zeta Reticuli into his narrative in order to make ufologists' ears prick up. Otherwise, why is it Zeta Reticuli when fish withdrew it? I don't know. I don't know how he knew. See, he says he was given no background to the craft he worked on, none at all. Maybe he's just speculating. Jago Rivera. Benny Hill saw aliens from Zeta Reticuli. I think you mean Betty or Barney. Maybe they chased him. Oh, Benny Hill. All right, you do mean Benny Hill, yeah, with those skimpy women. All right. Crafty Nihilist. It's probably full of odd socks. Crafty. Could be. Like my yellow bucket. I hope not. They're gonna have whoever opens that up's going to get a nasty shock, isn't it? Steve Palmer says, Ben, the Starlink-based section comment was a joke, hence the wink. All right, Steve. Ha, ha, ha. All right, I get it. Nihilist says they shouldn't open it. Haven't they seen John Carpenter's The Thing? Oh, yeah. Just because it's the desert and not Antarctica, you never know. Something could suddenly whip out. Some rope-like appendage could rip out and drag you in. And then, oh, God, that was a brilliant film. Absolutely brilliant. I watched the 2011 one as well. I only watched it when I realised it was a prequel and not a remake, because I thought you can't remake that. But it wasn't. It's a prequel. You find out what happens at the Norwegian base before the dog runs off and infects the American base with Kurt Russell and all the others. Charles Unleashed says, oh, we don't find out what's inside it because it would be destroyed to find out. I wonder if it's possible to do this without destroying the monument. I mean, you could put like a camera inside, like a little mini camera inside it. Just one of those ones the archaeologists use. The ones they use at the pyramids with a tiny little aperture. You just stick through the little gap. I do hope they do something like that. But unfortunately, we've got to face it that probably the bloody authorities are going to... They're probably going to take it down. They're probably going to rip it down because it's there without planning permission. Crystal Energy said it would be so boring if nothing is inside it. Very much like a distraction. Yeah, I know it would be a bit, but who knows? But even then, even if there's nothing inside it, we'd still not know how it got there, who put it there, and why. Hatchy, hello. Anyone ever felt like your mind's being played with? Too coincidental with the global political state. It's a Trojan horse. All sorts on the way without the alignment of Nibiru. I don't know. Well, firstly, Nibiru doesn't exist. I've done a whole video about that. But distraction, again, it's not the kind of thing you distract. It depends what you want to distract from, because... Not everything that happens in the mainstream media is a distraction. Not everything that happens in the mainstream media is controlled. Even they, sometimes, things slip through. And so, I mean, it's very trendy these days just to think everything's a distraction. Nothing is real. Everything, absolutely everything. So, and everyone else falls for it except me, and this is why I'm so superior. But it's not actually the case. Classic Cars of Harrogate spotted. Hello. If Trump declares war, he stays at the top. Trump is not going to declare war. He's the first president in ages that hasn't. You've got to go back to Jimmy Carter, actually, to find a president that hasn't started a war. Crystal Energy says the planets are something to watch in alignment soon. Hope the timeline locks into positive. Yeah. The fact that it is arranged on the cardinal points, that's weird. One of the three facets of this triangular prism faces north-south. That's probably not a coincidence. Rabbit, the UN spends most of its time criticising Israel. It does actually, yeah. So all right, well maybe. So people do criticise it. Well, has the UN been called anti-Semitic like David Icke then? Rabbit, I can't mute the mic. The button which you used to press to mute is moved just to fiddle with us, just to mess with our heads. Sock shovel, you're not going to hear anything because the toilet is outside my room. Yeah. Nihilist says, I remember 4 years ago when the mainstream media was saying Trump was going to nuke North Korea. I remember that. They were saying, he's always been the big orange Hitler, isn't he? Monopod BS. Hello, Monopod. The monolith is Derek Accora's gravestone. I think Derek Accora's been buried somewhere else because he did die in January. This has been there for a lot longer. It's been there, as I said, for about 5 years. Nihilus, I did shut the toilet door. Who are you calling a barbarian? Where are we now? There's a monolith in Ben's bedroom. Now that is my special conspiratorial hat, which was designed by Sophie the Porter's poet and her partner for my Dreaming Saucers conference, which was a big success. Went very well. I've actually started a Dreaming Saucers group here in Oxford. So if you live anywhere near Oxford and you want to get in touch, just let me know. That's not a Monolith, is Nihilus. It's a Tower of Readers' Wives DVDs. I don't think so, Nihilus. It's too short. It's only 9.5 feet tall. It would be about 900 feet tall if it was that. Hatchy. Scorpio and Mars are in alignment at the moment. Be on your guard for war and venom. All right. I'm not really into astrology. I mean, I don't dismiss it, but I'm not a aficionado. Apparently, there was also a big conjunction the other day. Was it Jupiter and Saturn or something? I don't know. Sock shovel. What Euro countries have the bomb? UK, France. Is there any others? I don't know. UK and France do. And Nihilus. Russia, of course, yeah. Russia has the biggest nuclear arsenal on Earth, yeah. Yeah, Charles Unleashes. Phallic symbol. Told you. Mary lost dich. Yeah. Rabbit says Ukraine had nukes but gave it up on the guarantee that their borders would be respected. Then Russia invaded. You know, Rabbit, well, it was supposedly independent insurgents, ethnic Russians, but it just goes to show, you know, if once somebody has them, everyone else has got to get them. I understand why people do that. Nihilist lives matter. Don't get me started on the EU and its defence policy and the fact that it could have nuclear weapons. You can guess which country the EU would point its weapons at, can't you? I'll give you a clue. I'm sitting in it. They'll never forgive us for Brexit. David says, Lazar saw paperwork at S4 that mentioned the craft originates at Zeta Reticulum. I'm sorry, I have problems explaining what I mean. Wish I could in 200 characters, lol. Alright, and yeah. I didn't notice that bit. I don't remember that part of the story, but so be it, yeah. Tessa, did they determine if the monolith is hollow? Yeah, they did. It's very simple. You just have to rap on it. You just rap on it. You can hear by the echo and the sound it makes that it's hollow. But it doesn't mean there's nothing inside it. It's not. All it means it's not a solid lump. It's not a solid piece of metal. It's got something. It's got an empty space inside it, which could contain something. Rabbit says it's just a 5-year-old bit of metal. It doesn't matter what happens to it, but it does. Rabbit, it is a work of art, and what's more, it's given people a lot of pleasure. It's given people a lot of happiness and intrigue, and it's broken the boredom. And let's face it, we're going through a year in which there's a lot of things we need. We need that sort of thing. We need something to give us a sense of wonder, and the monolith has done that. And I hope they won't demolish it. I hope they'll leave it there. Obviously, it's going to get vandalised. Some idiots are going to go there, and it may get torn down anyway by some idiots. And they're going to scrawl graffiti on it anyway. But I'm hoping whoever put it there will get retrospective planning permission. I mean, if gypsies can do that to set up camps, surely a modern artist can do that just to put up a monolith in the middle of the desert, which is not getting in anyone's way and doing no harm. I mean, it might not have been spotted. We may not have spotted it for another 10 years or another 20 years. Crystal Energy says it behaved and sounded like aluminium. It probably is aluminium. It's the right colour to be aluminium. And aluminium, of course, is a good building material. It's very light and it's very It's got a good tensile strength. It would be a good thing to make that out of, yeah. David Schultz, Pennsylvania Appeal Court tosses Trump's lawsuit, setting a stage for Supreme Court showdown. Yeah, that's the tactic they're using, David, I think. They're going for the Supreme Court. I'll cover that closer to the time. Tessa says, why were there no tyre tracks in the desert crevice? You can't actually get a wheeled vehicle in there. You have to walk. So whoever erected that would have had to carry the facets of it over a mile. I mean, maybe they had a donkey or something, or a horse. Maybe they did that. So it wouldn't have been easy to do. More than one person must have done this. It must have been a team of builders who did it. Flip to the bottom. Back up we go. Steve Sanderson, the answer will be in the inside. All artists sign their work. Maybe there will be something in there to attribute the artifact, yes. There may be some kind of document of attribution. It'll probably be like a carving or something. Oh, who knows? Who knows? But there'll be some. I think there may be something inside it. I can't wait to find out. Unless some bloody idiot goes there and they just rip it open and then steal whatever's inside, which would be a real shame. Tessa said, did CERN push us into this COVID timeline? You know what? I'm going to review that film, The Mandela Effect. Because I'm not going to see it on the big screen now, yeah. Crystal Energy says, I think we have to stay open to all possibilities, including the distraction, hence why I mentioned it. Fair enough. Yep, fair enough. We should perhaps... This is why I am keeping one eye on other news. I'm not obsessing over this. I'm keeping one eye on other things that are going on in the world, Crystal. I am, just in case. Nihilist Lives Matter says, inside is a TV playing Never Gonna Give You Up on a permanent loop. Well, if that's the case, Nihilist Lives Matter, then you have a plot for a horror movie, A Gateway to Hell. I mean, I can't imagine a worse fate than being... Lauren says, this probably is a coincidence, but I noticed that the Janet section of McCarran Airport, which is specific to flights to and from Area 51, has an alignment with the summer and winter solstice. Really? Really, Lauren? And do you live in Las Vegas? Do you visit the place regularly? Have you checked that? That's bloody... If that's true, it's probably not a coincidence. It's unlike, I mean, if you think about how many degrees there are in the circle, things like that, 365 degrees in the circle, and the dates as well. I mean, that's not a coincidence. Lauren says there is a site with a map showing the alignments found in many city streets. That's where I find it. I don't know if I can post links though. You could, Lauren, if you post any, I'll approve them. But there's this book called Talisman of the United States that talks about the various alignments in Washington, D.C. I mean, Washington, D.C. is essentially the world's second largest Masonic temple. The largest being Paris, which, after Baron Ostman redesigned the whole city, it essentially is a massive ritual centre. I mean, I could talk for hours about the symbolism and the layouts of the streets and the various artefacts and the various monuments and things in Paris. It's incredible. Diego Rivera says the monolith might have something to do with the Great Conjunction on the 21st of December. This is it, yeah, between Jupiter and Saturn. That was the plot of that was in the plot of 2001. Is there a conjunction? Yeah, I heard it. I tell you what, it was Sky at Night. Let me just look this up because I wonder if there is something like that. Because someone was posting "The World Begins." Oh, it was that bloke. It was that black guy. The kind of like motivational speaker. What's his name? I sometimes watch his videos. He's very good. Saturn. Here we are. Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. Oh, this is it, yeah. Sky Night magazine. Yes, this is interesting. The Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. 21st of December, the winter solstice, 2020. It's the closest planetary kiss since 1623. We will see the gas giants of Jupiter and Saturn just 0.06 degrees apart. Blimey. And there's a simulation of it. Well. How about that? Let's hope we get good weather for it, guys. Who knows? Do you think it's... Who knows? I mean, do you think... someone suggested it might be a piece of viral... Someone said it might be a bit of viral marketing for something, you know. I mean, I do wonder if that could be the case. Charles says Biden threatened the UK again if they go independent. Well, yeah, I mean, we are independent. We've been independent since January the 31st, but don't be surprised. I mean, this is why they were so appalled when Trump became president, because it was just after the Brexit vote, and they were all horrified. They were losing control. But don't be surprised, Charles, if a rejoin alliance doesn't emerge in Britain between now and the next general election. I'll cover that at the time. I will. But yeah, Biden has threatened Britain. He's threatened us essentially with a... Well, he hasn't gone... He's sort of building up the... He's building up the horrible kind of like... he's building up the horrible things he said. But he's basically... It's going to go... He's going to threaten us with a trade embargo eventually. And Brussels is going to go along with it. Sock shovels. That's basically what's happening. Biden likes to threaten the UK over Brexit, says Nihilist, but would love Northern Ireland to leave the UK. I've got a feeling Northern Ireland and the Republic will join at some point. I was talking to Miles about this, and there's going to be some kind of merger between the North and South in Ireland. And for the people of Northern Ireland, I mean, if you have dual citizenship anyway under the Anglo-Irish Agreement of 1920. So people can still get out. Same with people in the Republic. They have a right to a British passport. So you may be able to escape that way. You have a right of abode in the rest of the United Kingdom. So that could be the answer. Funnily enough, do you remember the Ramonas saying? Oh, do you remember the Ramonas' big line? After the Brexit vote, everyone wants an Irish passport now. Loads of people are applying for Irish passports. This is why they don't want Brexit. What they didn't tell you was that nearly all those people lived in Northern Ireland. They lived in Northern Ireland where they are entitled to an Irish passport anyway, in accordance with the 1920 Anglo-Irish Agreement. I think it's 1920, somewhere around that time, somewhere during the Irish Free State. They just didn't bother to have it before because the border, the internal border in Ireland is open anyway, so they just didn't bother because they could go anywhere anyway anyhow. They never bothered having one. So the Ramones are full of crap, they really are. Hatchy Hatchy says, Ben, is the moon a base with things coming? Just a thought. Personally, I think we're living the times of Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm just awaiting the explosion, anyone. Well, Hatchy, the moon is not a base, but there may be bases of various kinds on the moon. Yes, we're certainly living in the times of Sodom and Gomorrah. You just got to walk along Cowley Road on a Friday night and you can see it. Crystal Energy says, Crowley's stuff has spells built into it so the reader never gets affected, so I don't read this stuff like it's cursed or something. So the reader does get affected, sorry. Yeah, I'm interested in Crowley. I've never read any of Crowley's own stuff, but I have read books about him. I've read 2 books about Crowley, and they're very interesting. I recommend A Magic Life by Martin Shaw. That's a quite sort of fair, balanced biography. Just going to go through... I can't answer every single comment, I'm sorry. David, on the subject of the Freedom Pass, I'll be saying more about that. I covered this on Hapanmo Radio, if you ever listen to that. Tessa says there's ley lines in the Americas too. Yeah, there's ley lines all over the world. They're called different things in different places. The Chinese call them dragon lines. Rabbit says, flip to the bottom. Seeing as it's likely to be an art installation, there likely isn't going to be anything inside it. You know what those arty types are like. Well, the word art installation is I've only heard it recently, but apparently there is a tradition in that part of the world for putting up impromptu guerrilla artworks in various parts of the world. In various remote locations. The difference is all the other artworks are in places where people can see them. That's the point of art, isn't it? Unless you're one of these really extreme postmodernists. So if maybe there are others, right now people are going to try and find more of them, because everyone's going to think there's more of them now, and they're going to be searching every single Google Earth image ever created to try and find the other monoliths. Yeah. Crafty says Crow 777 goes on about the conjunction on the 21st. I like Crow 77. He's really good. He's this New Zealand guy, and I think he's New Zealand. He speaks with a New Zealand accent. I assume he comes from New Zealand, and he's very good actually. And I'll have to check his videos out again, because I haven't for a while. But yeah, let's hope we get good skies for it, innit? Yeah. What does it mean astrologically? It actually says here. Hang on, let's have a look. Because it says conjunction astrology. Here we go. The great. It's just the Wikipedia thing again. Earthsky.org. I can't. So I'll look it up later. I'm in the middle of a live stream. I can't look it up now. I wonder what it means. I wonder if it is something. I wonder if it has anything to do with that monolith. Lauren says, unfortunately I live here in Las Vegas. Don't tell me you've never put on a bet. You know, Ellis Taylor got debagged at customs at McCarran Airport when he went to the Laughlin conference, the original UFO Congress, and he got debagged at customs. He spent a whole day in custody, and he literally had to turn out everything. He had to strip naked and everything. I mean, it was really quite awful. And I joked with him. I said, you know why? Because you're the only person in the world who ever passed through Las Vegas and never put on a bet. Hatchy says, oh dear, Utah. Look at how clean this so-called new structure is. Lol. It's great, very phallic within a womb of rock. That's a point. That's a good point, isn't it? There is something feminine about its surroundings. It is sort of curved, rounded. Yeah. The White House has similar connotations. The White House number 666, anyone. The Washington, D.C. has a lot of that. For example, there's the Washington Monument, which is huge, a massive 500-plus foot tall brick in the middle of the city. I mean, that makes your eyes water, doesn't it? And what's nearby? There's the dome of the Capitol, of the U.S. Capitol, the Halls of Congress, which is based on St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. A dome is feminine. The phallic symbol of the male and the female symbols put so close together generates sexual energy. I've done a video about that. I can't remember what it's called, but I've done several videos about that. And I wonder if there's something occult about the whole. Is there something occult about the monolith? I wonder. Tessa says Greta Thunberg, threat of windmills that don't work. Hey Tessa, you watched my Planet of the Humans video, haven't you? Crystal Energy says, I've downloaded a few books on sigils and symbols, but haven't studied them. Crystal, if you can find out anything about that monolith from that book, what it might be, let me know. David Schultz, Ralph Smart, that's him. Yes, Ralph Smart. He's the one who said the world begins. He did a really interesting video because he says this conjunction. What was it called? Someone actually sent it to me, and I brought it up on the Herpanwo show last night. Because Ralph is saying that that basically it's a really significant astrological event on the summer solstice to have these two massive planets, and what they mean. I mean, Jupiter, of course, is the king of the planets. It's Zeus, and then Saturn, which is the planet of law. It's the planet of law and order and discipline and things like that. I mean, I'm not an astrologer. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Rabbit says David Icke believes the moon is a giant spaceship. Yeah, and he's wrong. It's not. Now, just because I like David Icke doesn't mean I believe everything he says. Tessa says the Great Salt Road to Reno has strange art. What's that then? And there's also a GSL spiral in northern Utah. Oh, let's have a look. Just have a look at this. Hang on. Salt Road to Reno. I'll just Google that. Google is your friend. As Salt Lake City to Reno road trip. Yeah, this that's what Hoagland says. Google is your friend. Let's have a look at the images here. I don't see any artwork. There's a bloke in a bike dressed with a big white cowl with his hood up. That's the only thing I can see. Not to worry. I'll find out. A GSL spiral in northern Utah. What's a GSL spiral? Let's have a look. A GSL spiral, Utah. Yeah, I see it. Yes. Oh, Great Salt Lake. I get Great Salt Lake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spiral jetty. Yeah. Oh, I see. That's amazing. That's an amazing thing. That is. That's really incredible. I've never seen anything like that before. Spiral jetty, northeastern shore. Yeah, it's constructed April 1970. The most important work by the American sculptor Robert Smithson. Any relation to Malcolm? Only kidding. I've fallen out with him. He's a little sod, he is. Crystal, you're going for a coffee break? Okay, I might finish in a minute. I've been going over 2 hours. I might call it a night in a minute. I'm nearly through these comments. And viewers we're still on 54 viewers. Hatchy says England gets turned into the new Cuba. Yeah, maybe I'll cover that in the future. Yeah. Tessa said, anyone remember the Dark Crystal Great Conjunction? No, Tessa, the Dark Crystal was this Jim Henson film. I remember watching it because people said that it was because it was made by the guy who created the Muppet Show and Sesame Street, and I wanted to see it. It's a good. I remember really enjoying it. I was a little kid, but I remember really enjoying it. Watch him. So speaking of large orbs hovering into view, will Ben be twerking tonight? No, I won't. Tessa said 3-ball artwork on the road by the Great Salt Lake. 3-ball. All right, there's another one. Let's have a look. 3-ball artwork. GSL. No, nothing. I can't find anything. Not to worry, guys. Not to worry. And Hatchy says it must be made of metals. We have no knowledge of all modern metals. Tarnish by elements unless cleaned. Well, is it possible that it has been maintained? I wonder, Hatchy, is it possible that someone has been going on there and just wiping it and polishing it every so often? That would be remarkable. It would mean that they didn't just put it up there and leave it. They went back every so often to check. Are you off, David? David Schultz is leaving. Okay, David, thanks for watching. I'll be finishing in a minute. I was just wondering, Hatchy, if it could be that it has been regularly maintained and checked, because rather than someone just leaving it and going away, they may have gone back every so often to make sure it hadn't been blown down in the wind or something. Because that would make it more complicated, wouldn't it? Because that would mean this was there were people around today who are sort of like know all about it and will say stuff. I mean, probably there is already. Seeing as it's quite recent, it's barely 5 years old. There are probably a lot of people who know about it. Interestingly, it appeared around in 20. If you look at the dates, August 2015 to October 2016. If it appeared sort of in the middle of that, it was just before the great transformation of 2016, the Brexit-Trump transformation. I wonder if there's something. I just wonder if there's something connected there. Tessa says, with little rain down there, it wouldn't need polishing. Yeah, it is actually. It's a very dry area. There is water there. I mean, I think it was one of the guys who visited it just recently. Maybe it was the one we've just been discussing, who saw a puddle of water, which means there is some rainfall there. But you can see it's a dry location, and that it could be even groundwater welling up or something. I don't know. It wouldn't suffer very much corrosion due to rainwater. So desert's a good place to put something like that. And also, it depends what it's made of. Some metals corrode. See, iron, ferrous metals, iron, steel, they corrode very, very quickly in rainwater, except for that Delhi pillar that I talked about earlier. But it could be aluminium. It could have a chrome finish, which again would protect it. This is why cars, you see, a lot of the metal work on cars and on bikes and things has a chrome finish to protect it from corrosion. It could be aluminium, which doesn't corrode as much, if at all. Watch Him says, am I the only one in chat who's accidentally dripped brown sauce on their left ghoulie? I don't know, Watch Him, but I certainly haven't. A nihilist says, an astronomical conjunction was in the Dark Crystal's plot. Oh yeah, because those little creatures, those nice creatures with the... There was these evil ones, and there was these nice, sweet creatures, and they all come and they all sit and they go, oh, like that. They start moaning at the sky. I remember that. It was a good movie. I must watch that movie again. I remember crying a bit because I thought it was sad. I was a little kid, but... Watch Him says, Delhi Pillar. It's not like Gandhi's Revenge. Oh, is that some kind of food poisoning you get from a curry house when you've had too much vindaloo? I don't know, but it is... it's standing in the middle of... Well, I don't know why it's always been in the same place, but it's this strange pillar, and people say it's made of iron. It was mentioned by Eric von Daniken in his book. But if it's made of iron, it doesn't rust, which makes it unusual. And also, there's also... and it's been moved a few times, and it's about 1,800 years old. And it's a big mystery. Eric von Daniken says it might be alien, but then he thinks everything's alien, doesn't he? Diego Rivera says, Jupiter deposed his father Saturn to become king of the gods. Saturn, the god of time, portrayed with a sickle or scythe. You're right, yeah. Now, that could... I'll be interested to see what that means in terms of astrology. Tessa says, Tree of Life artwork. I'll look that up. Tree of Life, Great Salt Lake. Oh, I see it now, yeah. Oh my goodness me. What is that? It looks like a big pole sticking out of the ground and people stuck basketballs to it. That's weird. That's very strange. It's in a very prominent place though, people can see it. It's very big. There's some people standing next to it and you can see it's actually quite big. and it's in a very prominent location. It's not hidden at all. The thing about the monolith is it's been concealed. It's been specifically concealed. So it's in the open air, but it's been concealed. It's deliberately put somewhere. Tree of Utah. Oh, right, you are, Tessa. I found it anyway. I do think the monolith obviously has been placed somewhere where it can't. They knew it was very unlikely. They probably thought maybe no one would ever find it. But they knew it would be very difficult to find. It'd be unlikely. Hachi says, it's a distraction, gut instinct. It stinks of New World Order symbology with its male and female symbolism. It could be, although the male and female thing can be used positively as well as negatively. Watch Him says, Eric von Hagenders is full of it. He's not full of it, but he's sort of half full of it, I think. It is huge, Tessa. You can see some human people standing next to it. It's about as big. It's about the same size as the Angel of the North. That thing at Gateshead. That weird aeroplane-like thing at Gateshead. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. An hour, 2.25 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes. I think that's long enough. Nearly 2 hours 20 minutes. But thank you very much, all of you, for taking part. I think I've covered everything, I think we together have covered everything, because you guys have, obviously this is an interactive experience, and you guys have helped me cover all the different topics related to this. But I can't think of anything we haven't talked about. I think obviously more will come about. I've got a feeling this is not the end of the story. It is, in a sense, we know now it's not alien. I think we can safely say it's not alien. However, I think it's quite likely that there's some mysteries. Maybe something that's inside it. Maybe its origins, who put it there, they have some kind of secret. Who knows? I think we're going to find out. And obviously, if and when we find out, you'll hear it first, live and exclusive on Hapanwo TV. Thanks, Tessa. Thanks for joining in, Tessa. You're very welcome. Watch him says Ben's going to talc down. Of course I am, yes. Get rid of the brown sauce. Oops, sorry. Bye-bye, Crafty Nihilist. Bye-bye. And Crystal Energy, thank you very much for joining again after tuning into her Panwo Radio last night. And Proselytizing says chocolate buttons are inside it. I hope so, Rabbit. I hope it's like a big Easter egg. There's packets of chocolate buttons will come out, yeah. No, David. So, guys, thank you very much, all of you. And there's still 41 of you watching. It's going down a little bit now, so you're welcome, Crystal Energy. And see you, Shock Shovel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry about the delayed start. I got there in the end. I'll try and work out what I did wrong next time, and so we don't have this embarrassing, abortive attempt to get on the air. Luckily, I didn't share that stream. But you guys are brilliant. What I'll do is I'll upload this to the Alt Tech as well as soon as it's processed, which will be a couple of days. But of course, the recording will be here for anyone who missed it, including Steve Mumbling. Steve Mumbling, it's now 5 in the morning. Get up and get out of bed, you lazy Aussie git. Tessa says delete background apps. All right, I'll try that. Yeah. Hachi says there will come a time when people are forced to act. I think we're there, I tell you. All right, Lauren says that Janet has an alignment with the summer solstice. It was Nellis Air Force Base, both summer and winter. Well, that Nellis Air Force Base, it's just as significant, I think, Lauren. Alex Ritchie. Hello, Alex. How are you? No worries. Lauren, email me, bennyj74gmx.co.uk. Just send me any details you want. The email is on my on the Panwo TV blog if you want to check that out. You can always, or you could put a comment in the comments box underneath the recording. Lauren, okay, if you could post a link, that's cool. But if not, the comments box will be open, so you can put it there. It'll probably go to the spam folder because it's got a URL, but I'll approve it. Hello, Peaceful Warrior. You've turned up right at the end. Oh, bless you. How are you? Hope you're all right. Hope you're okay. All right, a few people are leaving now. Bye-bye, Lauren Thompson. Yeah, just post a link in the chat. Post a link in the comments section. You guys have been brilliant. If it weren't for you, this would be a very short, boring live stream with just me reading out the lead off. But you guys have made it what it is. So thank you for participating. Diego Rivera, good night. Sleep well. And everyone else who's listening, who have chosen not to comment, or you're watching the recording, take care, Peaceful Warrior. If you're just watching the recording, that's fine. Please do check out my other videos on my channel. Sub, like, share, all that sort of thing. Night, Crafty Nihilists. And I'll see you again pretty soon. There's another video coming soon. Take it easy.